You're too anxious. Fear is most often an illusion. Michael Jordan said that. Not letting that fear control you is one of the best things you can do. You only get one life, guys. It could be over just like that. So you want to make sure with the time you do have, you make it count. Hey everybody, in this video today, we're gonna be discussing progress equals happiness. If we're not growing, we're not happy. Then we are stagnant, we're at a standstill. That is one of the worst things we can do because when we're at a standstill, we're literally decaying. Because we're stagnant, which means we're not growing, so we're decaying. Because time's going on. If you're stagnant, nothing good is coming from it. I just want us to understand that progress equals happiness, like Tony Robbins would always say. We are not happy unless we're continuously growing, continuously reaching new goals, setting new goals, and achieving them. And that's why it's so important to be addicted to growing and have that mindset that you're addicted to growing, addicted to getting better, cannot stand still. That's what we need to get to the point where it pains you, kills you to stay exactly where you're at. We need to remember this, guys. We need to despise the place we don't want to be. And that is not growing, not getting better, being complacent, staying the exact same spot you are. This is the worst thing you can do. And we need to make sure that we're doing everything we can to remind ourselves to continuously keep growing, keep getting better. If there's things you're not good at, you want to do those things that you're not the best at. For example, 3 years ago, I wasn't the best at running without stopping, like run for a mile then stop. But now it's come to the point where I'm running like 5, 10 miles without stopping, 15 miles without stopping. And I've built that discipline, built that mental strength. My running's gotten stronger and stronger in the process. So it just shows that when you go after a weakness, even though it's your weakness, you can make that weakness better. You can make that weakness a strength. We are not happy as humans unless we're growing, unless we're getting better, reaching new heights, okay? But if we're not setting those heights, we can't get to them. So it's just so crucial and important that we remember to set those new goals. Once we achieve them, set more new goals. If we're making progress and we're actually getting somewhere, then we will be happy. Like Tony always says, we aren't happy unless we have a compelling future, and we have to set that future. We have to create that future for ourselves. But I know that's hard for a lot of us because a lot of us can't look past today. Like things are so bad or hard right now that it's hard to look past today or tomorrow. Like I used to be like that all the time when I was struggling a lot. I used to get bullied a lot as a kid for being fat. So I had all these underlying problems, anxious, depressed. And what I learned is I was stagnant during that time, and I was not happy until I had a compelling future. I designed for myself, I designed that compelling future for myself, and now I'm going after it. That's why if we're making progress towards that, that's the happiness. Progress equals happiness. That's what he meant. A lot of us don't understand that. But if you want to get to where you want to go in life, you got to grind it out. You have to make it happen. The only way you can do that is if you keep making progress towards your goal rather than stay stagnant where you are and never get anywhere because you're too afraid or, you're too anxious. Michael Jordan said that. Fear is most often an illusion. What he meant like that is we always make things out to be way worse than they are. We always come up with these scenarios in our head that would never happen, but it keeps us from doing what we want to do. And it keeps us from going after what we want to go after. And that's literally terrible that we let fear control our decisions, control our life to the point where we don't go after what we want to because we're so fearful. That's why affirmations are so important, guys. When you do affirmations, you destroy that negative programming that's in your head from just society in general nowadays. TV, the news, all these things are so negative that they constrict you and they keep you from ever wanting to go out and explore and go after what you want because you're so fearful. When you watch the news, that's all you get from it is just fear. That's how they get you to watch. Not letting that fear control you is one of the best things you can do. And I'm talking about this life advice is the same thing in business. And it's the same thing in many aspects of life. And having a good business, having a strong life, you don't let fear control you. I started going after things that scared me and after things that made me fearful because I was like, okay, it's just an illusion. And I've wasted so much time being fearful that I can't waste any more time. So once I saw something I'm fearful about, I go after it immediately and destroy it. Now imagine that. Imagine if you would do that. Something you're fearful of, asking out a pretty girl. Maybe if you're a girl, asking out a guy. Like, the times are changing. Women can do things now, guys. We need to understand that, but it's hard for a guy, but that's really hard for a girl. Like, going out of her place like that to ask out a guy she likes or thinks attractive. The same scenario with a guy asking out a pretty girl. You're not gonna do that unless you conquer that fear. But if you were to conquer that fear, the benefits would be just huge. Like, your whole life could change. You could meet this pretty girl. You could fall in love. For women, you could meet this guy, fall in love. You know what I mean? But if you don't go after it because fear is holding you back, you'll never know. That's with a lot of things in life. If you let fear hold you back, you'll never know. And that brings me back to my whole thing about regret. Regretting the things you didn't go after because you're so fearful. Just said, nah, I'm not doing that because I'm scared. Or even if you're scared, you can still go after it and crush it, okay? So that's why I want you guys to start doing this. Like, do this exercise. When you're fearful of something, go after it anyway. Do it because you're fearful of it. And that will really train your brain to, like, yo, when my soul says jump, I'm doing this, okay? It doesn't matter what my brain's telling me. It doesn't matter if my brain's telling me, no, dude, you can't handle it. It's like with the cold plunge. There's this cold plunge at my gym. Your brain's like, no, that's cold. I'm not doing that. It's 5 in the morning. But I jump in anyway. I'm like, no, we're doing this. And I jump in anyway for 2-3 minutes, even though I'm shaking like I'm in Antarctica after that 3 minutes. But that just shows that mental strength I have where I don't listen to my brain that's telling me, yo, no, don't do this. Don't jump in that cold plunge that's 32 degrees because it's 5 a.m. in the morning. It's way too early for this and you're about to be freezing. But my soul's like, this really benefits me. This really helps my stress levels, makes me feel better after the 3 minutes. So I'm gonna suffer now, and then I go and suffer. Regardless of what my brain's telling me, the fearful state my brain's in, like, Matt, that's cold. Don't do that. Don't jump in there. But I jump in anyway because I know the benefits of it. I really want you guys to get this concept of when you're fearful of something, understanding that it's often just an illusion and going after it anyway because you're fearful of it. Because once you do that, you grow. You know, you're anxious and fearful about it, but then once you go after it and conquer it, actually push through that fear, that's where the growth happens, guys. In that little area that you pushed past and went for it, that's where the growth happens. Then the next time it happens, automatically push past it because you've been there before. You didn't let it stop you and keep you stagnant and keep you where you are. You pushed past it, punched through it, you crushed it. Guys, so important to not let fear stop you from doing what you want to do. We come up with these things in our heads. They're often way worse than what the reality is because we worry so much. And I want us to stop doing that and just go after what we want because it's important, guys. Tomorrow's not promised. I keep saying this, but it's true. You only get one life, guys. It could be over just like that. So you want to make sure with the time you do have, you make it count. You know, there's always gonna be things in life that come up that you're anxious and nervous about, fearful of. But if you can just take a second to realize that it's always worse in your head than it is in reality, and you say, I'm not gonna let this stop me, I'm gonna let this grow me, that's when you're gonna have a huge mind shift. That's the moment you decided, I'm not gonna let things that fear me stop me from doing what I wanna do. And that's true power, ladies and gentlemen. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. As soon as it posts, you get a notification and you can check it out. All right, remember, be grateful for the little things.